Hi, Miss Muller's class. I'm going to be posting videos on here for us to stay in contact since we won't be in class together. So I want you to keep checking your Google Classroom every day, and we'll just have a few quick videos going over some of the questions. I'm going to be posting the answer keys for all of the math homework for this week and some of the other math assignments, but I wanted to go over one question from each day to make sure you know how to solve these problems from your math homework. So pause right here. Get out your math homework, and we're going to go over one question from each day. We're going to start with Monday. You're going to be looking at problem number 3. So problem number 3 says, David and his 5 friends went to Pizza Hut. So I'm going to stop and put my brackets around this first sentence. They ordered 4 large pizzas. So I know there's 4 pizzas. Next sentence, if each pizza was sliced into thirds, so I know that each pizza is being sliced into thirds, how many slices of pizza did each boy receive? So now I need to write down all the information that I learned from this question. So there was David and his 5 friends. So that means we had David plus 5 friends is going to give me 6 people. Then I know that there were 4 pizzas. So I need to write down 4 pizzas that are split into thirds. So 4 pizzas in thirds. And then it tells me how many slices did they each receive. So I'm going to draw out my 4 pizzas and divide them into thirds. If I break each pizza into 3 slices, and then I'm going to number each slice, so that way I know how many slices I have all together. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I have 12 slices total. And I want to know if each pizza was divided up between each boy. I'm going to divide these 12 slices equally among my 6 people. So when I'm breaking things up equally, I remember that's division. So I'm going to take 12 divided by 6 equals 2. Each boy is going to get 2 slices. And that's how you solve Monday, number 3. Now we're going to look at Tuesday, problem number 4. So look at the Tuesday box and problem number 4. It says, 1,000 students attended the book fair. So I'm going to put my brackets around that first sentence and underline that I have 1,000 students. Then it says 361 of the students were second graders. So I'm going to circle 361 and second grade. And then 398, circle that, were third graders. And the rest were fourth graders. How many fourth graders attended the book fair? So I'm solving to find the fourth graders. So I'm going to write down what information I already know. So I know that there were 1,000 students total. There were 361 second graders. There were 398 third graders. And there were fourth graders. Y stands for my unknown. I don't know what Y is. So if I write an equation, I'm going to have 361 plus 398 plus Y equals 1,000. So now I have to solve for this Y right here. So first, I have to add my 2 numbers together, 361 plus 398. I have 300 plus 300 equals 600. 60 plus 90 equals 150. And 1 plus 8 equals 9. If I had 600 plus 150 plus 9, I'm going to get 759. So I have 759 plus Y equals 1,000. 1,000. Now, when I have a plus on this side and I need to figure out what y is, I do the opposite to figure out what y is. So I have 1,000 instead of plus, I'm going to do the opposite, minus 759 equals y. If I make my number line, it's going to start at 759 and end at 1,000. If I add one more, that'll get me to 780. If I add 20 more, that'll get me to 800. And then if I add 200 more, that's going to get me to 1,000. So now I have to add 200 plus 20 plus 1, and that'll give me my answer of 221. So there are 221. Oh, I have to go back. I have to add 759. That got me to 760, not 780. So I would need to add 40 here, not 20. See, everyone makes mistakes, even Miss Muller. So I have 200 plus 40 plus 1, giving me an answer of 241. So on my jumps on the number line, I start at 759, add 1 to get to 760, then add 40 to get to 800, and then 200 to get to 1,000 for a total of 241. So I'm going to pause right there, and we're going to go to the next problem on Wednesday. You're also going to be looking at number 4. All right, so number 4 on Wednesday says, on the first day of soccer camp, all the players were divided into 8 teams. So I know there's going to be 8 teams, so I underline that. There were 12 players on each team. Underline that. And then it says, which equation, when solved, will tell the total number of players? So here I heard each, groups, and total. So that means I need to make a get chart. There were 8 teams, so I have 8 groups. And it tells me there were 12 players on each team. And then it wants me to use an equation to find the total. Now, normally when I have the groups and the each, to find the total, I would do 8 times 12. But that's not one of my answer choices to give me the players. So I need to figure out how I can take this equation, 8 times 12 equals P, the total players, and change it so that way it equals one of my answer choices. So I have to use my fact families and what I know about multiplication and division to find the other equation. So I know that if 8 times 12 equals P, I could switch these two numbers for multiplication and it would still give me the same equation. But I also know that P is my total, and if I divide P by the groups, it'll give me the each. Or if I divide P by my each, I would get the groups. So I can take P and divide it by 8 and get my answer of 12. Or I could take P divided by 12 and get my answer of 8. These are our fact families. So I can see that this equation, P divided by 8 equals 12, is my answer choice D. So you find your answer there. Lastly, we're going to look at Thursday problem number 4. It says, Miss Patel planted a square flower garden with an area of 64 square feet. So I'm going to underline that it's a square and that my area is 64 square feet. Then it says, what is the perimeter of her garden? So we know that area, which is the inside, and we're trying to find the perimeter, which is the outside. The key is that it is a square. So I know that both sides are going to be the same. So if I'm going to make both sides P, it's the same on both sides. I know area equals my two sides multiplied times each other. So my area equals P times P. And I know from this problem my area equals 64. So 64 equals P times P. What number do I know is multiplied by itself to get to 64? I know that 8 times 8 equals 64. So P equals 8. Now I need to figure out the perimeter. Remember, for the perimeter, we add all the sides. So for a square, all the sides are the same, so that means each side is going to be p, which equals 8. So I add 8 4 times for the 4 sides. So I have 8 plus 8 plus 8 plus 8 equals 32 inches. So your answer is 32 inches. So that's all for today. Make sure you comment that you've watched this video in the comment section below and keep checking in for more videos. Bye!